What's up, Broncos, and welcome.
Oh, you start right here.
Oh,
yeah.
It's blank, guys. Gotcha. Hopefully everyone had a great week this week with no classes on Monday because of the ice and a blanket of snow covering the ground for the past few days. The ice wasn't only found on the ground this week, however. I'm no doctor, but my prognosis of the Hastings College basketball teams this weekend was that the ice had found its way into their veins.
Coming into senior night, both teams knew that their fate for the GPAC tournament was all but sealed, with the women's teams earning the 5 seed and the men's team clinging to the 7 seed. Only teams with the top 4 seeds host games in the GPAC tournament, so Saturday's game at home would be the last time the Broncos would play on their home court this season, barring a crazy scenario in the GPAC tournament. The women's teams came out big winners on Saturday over the number 12 Dordt Defenders, 81-56, in their first meeting of 2 between these two schools within a span of 5 days, with Hastings playing at number 4 seeded Dordt on Wednesday in the GPAC quarterfinals. It was a close game through the first 3 quarters, with the Broncos only leading 56-48 at the end of 3, but a big fourth quarter for the Broncos sealed it, outscoring the Defenders 25-8. Hastings only shot 36% on the day from the field and were led by Taylor Beacom with 16 points and Chandra Farmer with 15.
The men also took on Dordt after the women's game, defeating the Defenders 81-79 in a rowdy Lynn Farrell Arena on Saturday evening. The game almost looked out of reach with the Broncos down by 7 with just 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play. But a massive 9-0 run to end the game by the Broncos propelled them to victory with a dunk by freshman Shane Chamberlain in front of the student section to tie the game, and then a Bart Hiscock putback to give Hastings the 81-79 lead all the way to victory as the defense closed out the game on Dort's final possession. The win for the Broncos gives them momentum going into postseason play as they travel to number 2 seeded Jamestown on Wednesday for the GPAC quarterfinals. Overall, Hastings finished shooting just under 44% from the field and were led by Ben Wahlberg with 18 points.
Next up, we go to Seward, Nebraska, where the men's and women's track and field teams competed in the GPAC Indoor Championships over the weekend. After finishing last season's indoor championships with 11 titles and the women finishing second while the men finished third, the Broncos look to bring back even more titles this year round.
And while the women had similar successes last year, placing second overall again with a total of 135.5 points, the men came up just short of last year's third place finish, ending the day at 6th place with a total of 52 points. On the women's side, 3 athletes were crowned GPAC champions in 4 events, including Kelby Lyon in the weight throw with a throw of 18.12 meters, Shant Cunningham in the long jump with a jump of 5.83 meters, and in the 60-meter dash with a time of 7 3/4 seconds. And then Callie Stewart in the pentathlon with a personal best 3,446 points, running an 8.98 in the 60-meter hurdles. She then jumped a 1.65-meter jump in the high jump, had a 9.14-meter mark in the shot put, and a 5.21-meter leap in the long jump before finishing 4th in the 800-meter run with a time of 2 minutes and 33.69 seconds. Other results include Julia Wilson placing second in the 200-meter dash with a time of 25.48 seconds, Carson Keach finishing second in the 5K, running a time of 18 minutes, 59.38 seconds, and another good finish for Stewart in the finals of the 60-meter hurdles, finishing second with a time of 9.17 seconds.
For the men, Jonathan Flight was the 1 GPAC champion, finishing first in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.11 seconds. Other finishes include Paul Plaucha placing second in the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.34, good for a B standard national qualifying time. Cole Schmidt placing third in the triple jump with a jump of 13.93 meters, as well as the third place finish in the long jump with a jump of 6.89 meters. Grant Wickham placed fourth in the men's shot put with a throw of 15.72 meters, which is an A standard national qualifying throw. Tyler Summers and Justin Villers also had A standard national qualifying throws in the weight throw, with Summers placing 6th, having a throw of 17.43 meters, and Villers placing 8th with a throw of 17.19 meters.
Another team competing in the GPAC championships this weekend was the wrestling team, traveling back to Orange City, Iowa after suffering a 45-3 beatdown to Northwestern last weekend. The wrestling team looked to come back strong from that defeat and qualify for nationals. It was not meant to be, though, as the Broncos couldn't qualify any individuals and finished 8th as a team, with Tegan Smith being the highest individual placer, with a 5th place finish in the 157-pound weight class, finishing his day at 2-2 with victories over Carson Painter of Jamestown by pin and an 8-4 victory over Brandon Meyer of Briarcliff to claim 5th place. Jacob Beta also placed, finishing 6th in the 133 weight class, going 2-3 on the day with a 4-2 victory over Joshua Garcia of Jamestown and a 13-3 major decision victory over Xylon Takata of Dakota Wesleyan.
With it being GPAC championship season for winter sports, spring sports are finally getting underway, with baseball finally getting games under their belt this weekend after games with Ottawa and Baker were canceled last week. Traveling to Chickasha, Oklahoma, the Broncos struggled in their first games of the season, falling in 3 straight games to the number 11th ranked team in the nation, University of Science and Arts, Oklahoma. Being shut out in the first game 8-0 and then falling in the second game 8-2 on Saturday, and then taking the 3rd straight loss on Sunday 10-2. The baseball team will travel to Joplin, Missouri for the Joplin Tourney this coming weekend, with games on Saturday and Sunday, with opponents to be announced. To wrap up the weekend, men's and women's tennis teams competed here in Hastings on Sunday against Iowa Central Community College.
Both teams were victorious, with the men earning a 5-4 win and the women earning a 6-3 victory. Both teams will compete again over this coming weekend as they head down to Winfield, Kansas on Saturday to take on Southwestern College, who is receiving votes in the women's polls. Both teams will then travel back up to Hastings to take on Bethany College the next day at 2 o'clock.
A quick update on a story from last weekend. We told you that the cheer and dance all-conference results would be in before last week was up. And sure enough, the GPAC offices released all-conference elections on Thursday. Danny Cook of the dance team was named to the all-conference team, while dancers Chandler Masselt and Caitlin Carlis, as well as Jessica Hoffman and Ilaria Walker of the cheer team, were all named to the honorable mention all-conference list.
Rounding out the awards was head coach Michaela Malafua, taking home GPAC Cheer Coach of the Year. Well-deserved for Malafua, not only a fantastic coach, but a fantastic person as well. Congratulations to her and the rest that received honors.
That's all from us for another edition of CTV Sports. Overall, the Broncos went 4-4 this weekend, along with a stellar showing by the women's track and field teams at the GPAC Indoor Championships.
We hope to have you back next week for more action across Bronco athletics. Until then, I'm Jerod Fox for DaeRon Jones. Stay classy, Hastings.